Hello, I wanted to do a short little video. Some people, are experiencing, getting dolls that they don't like the way that they're stuffed or weighted, their limbs don't move. Maybe the zip ties are on really loose and the arms and legs keep popping off, things like that. They don't like the way they're weighted, they're too light, too heavy, whatever it is. It's really easy to do it yourself, and I have a video on here of me restuffing and reweighting a doll, and I encourage you to watch that. I just wanted to show you some of the things, the supplies and how easy they are to get for yourself, and encourage you to learn how to do this so, you can avoid this. I learned how to do it a long time ago. There are many YouTube videos out there that show you how to take it all apart, restuff, reweight it, put it back together. I'm just going to go over a few of my recommendations and show you some of the supplies and what they are, what they look like, what they mean, and stuff like that. So let's start with the beads. Okay, there are typically you want to use 2 different size beads, and the reason for this is, and for me, this is my preference, but to put beads in the body, I use this is a nylon knee-high, okay? And the reason I do this is because knee-highs are very giving and stretchy. They allow the beads to kind of move around, whereas like a sock or a balloon or something else might, just be a tight, hard ball. This allows the beads to move around and without being loose in the body, kind of mix around in the polyfill so that you don't really feel them. The baby's body has a natural feel. So when you're using these, unlike a sock or a balloon, you have to make sure that the size beads you're using will not sift through the pantyhose. So I'm going to have to be ingenious about this because I don't think it'll let me swap it around. But this is the big ones. And if you look at it next to the fine ones, you can see the difference. This is the big ones, and these are big enough that they will not sift. I'll put a few in my hand. They will not sift through the pantyhose and come out. But just to play it safe, to make sure that they don't sift out of the pantyhose, I always, once I put beads into a pantyhose, I tie a knot about, you want to tie the knot out far enough, just far enough that you give the beads plenty of room to move around and kind of stretch out and not be in a little ball. But you also want to leave enough room so that once you tie it in a knot, you can take this and flip it back over the beads to reinforce it, to make sure the beads don't come out. Okay, still, it doesn't leave them in a tight ball. They're able to move around. To me, it's just better in the long run. This is the fine ones, and I recommend using these in the limbs. So you use the bigger ones in the head and in the body, and you use these. Now in the head, if you want, you can still use a sock or a balloon if you want, because in the head it doesn't really matter. But in the body, you really want something soft and pliable so that the beads can, like I said, move around a bit and mingle in with your stuffing, and so that you don't really feel them. And you don't want the beads to be too big, because then when you squeeze the baby's body, you feel that crunchy bead feel. I don't like that. So these are, to me, the perfect size. And I can let you know what size these are. I don't know off the top of my head, but I can go look from where I ordered them and tell you exactly what size these are. These are just big enough that they don't really sift out of the pantyhose, especially if I reinforce it like I showed you. But they're not so big that when you squeeze the baby's body that you're just feeling these kind of, big crunchy beads. I prefer this size glass beads for the body, in the limbs, because you want that to be more of a little solid fill. You definitely don't want to go like this and feel crunchy, okay? So that's why these are almost like sand, and I'll show these to you too. This way. Okay, these are almost like sand, see? very fine beads, but it's not sand. And the biggest way you tell the difference is if you look at it really close. Sand does not sparkle. And this is very sparkly. Sand may sparkle a teeny tiny little bit here and there, but glass beads are going to sparkle a lot. So if I had this here, can you see the sparkle? Now that I have it under the lamp, you see how it's very sparkly? And sand will not sparkle that much. So that's the biggest way you can tell that it is not sand, that it's glass beads. You can go, it's called sandblasting material. You can go to any tool store, whether you're in the US, UK, wherever, any store that sells tools, tractor supplies, things like that. They sell what's called sandblasting material, and they usually have it available in a lot of different sizes. And sometimes you just have to go by look and not by, actually what size it is. You have to actually look at it so you make sure you get the right size. That's how it works for me. If you're in the US, like Harbor Freight Tools or somewhere like that, they sell sandblasting material. Any place, tractor supply place, I don't think Lowe's or Home Depot does, but I don't know for sure. But it would have to actually be a tool store that, like Harbor Freight Tools or something like that. I know there's another tool store, but I can't remember the name of it, but Harbor Freight sticks out in my head. Okay, the next thing, trying not to let this get incredibly seriously long, is neck rings. Okay, now people sometimes want to know what neck rings are. Neck rings come in many sizes. This is a 74. It's pretty big. This would be for like a neck. They're all for necks, but you can only use one this big for a neck, most likely, because it's pretty big. Now, they do come in small sizes like these. I need to look on here and see what size these are and write it on the bag. I have not done that with these yet. Let's see. And you will find the sizes. Let me get in the light here and find the size real quick. It's inside. The plastic is shiny. Let me see. They have the sizes on them. I gotta remember where. Well, these don't have a size. All the ones I get from that I've gotten before had a size. Let's see. Oh yeah, 38. So it's inside here, and it's a little bitty number. These are a 38. That's a 74. They come in different sizes. So I have to write that on there. So I remember, like here is a 58. That's centimeters, okay? That's what those mean. I'm out of my 78s. These are 55s. They come in different sizes. So basically what these are is you can put one on the doll's neck. And it hooks. Let me show you on this big one. You have to make sure you get the right size. I'm going to use this baby bottle as an example. Pretend this is the neck, okay? You would measure from the outside of the ring of the neck. That means when you you have to take it off of the doll and across the top of the neck, from the outside ring of the neck to the other outside. And you measure how many centimeters that is. And then that's what you look for. And it's usually right inside here somewhere. It's kind of small, so it may, but when you put it on, it's important to remember that you have to put it on this way. And this is why. It has to be a snug fit, okay? It's going to be hard to get it to snap across there, but you got to get it on there. It's got to be a snug fit because you don't want the head to pull out of the neck ring, okay? It's got to be snug enough. And the reason you do it this way is when you this is what you're going to put the zip tie around. When you put the neck on, you're going to put the zip tie around this. You're going to be able to tighten this as tight as you want, okay? And the head is still going to be able to move. So you put it on like this. I'm trying to remember. I haven't done this in a while. Yeah, see how, let me get close so you can see. okay? And this has to, the smaller side is what has to click onto the head first. So when it's on the head, it has to be like this, okay? But it has to be a very tight fit getting it on there. And like I said, this is where you're going to put, you know, the zip tie. When you put it through the neck of the body and then you put it on here, you can tighten it as tight as you want, because it's still, no matter how tight you move it, the head is still going to move nice and freely. That's what these are good for, okay? Now, some people, I'm going to put this back where it goes. So some people will put them on the arms and legs too. Now, these are just meant for really small necks, these little ones. But if you find the right size and you measure the arms, on the arms and legs, that ring that tucks inside the baby's body, you measure from the outside of that circle to the other outside of the circle, and it gives you an idea of what you need. And if you slip these over the arms and the legs and then put them on the body, you're going to get the same effect. I like putting them on the body, but I don't really prefer putting them on the arms and legs myself, because it makes them just really move too much. And see, I like a little bit of control. I like to pose a baby, put the arm here, and I like it to stay. And I find with if you put the neck rings on, you put it up here, it's going to fall back down as soon as you let go. You put it up here, it's going to fall back down as soon as you let go. They're not going to stay. Oops, there goes my bracelet again. I need to get it something on there so I don't lose it. Anyway, I like a little bit of control. So when I move the legs up and I have them in a cute little pose with the legs up, they'll stay. Now they still move very well so that I can move them and adjust them, but when I put them someplace, they stay. But with the neck rings, you put a leg up, as soon as you let go, it's going to fall back down. And I don't prefer them on the arms and legs. But sometimes you get one of those kind of vinyls that just don't slide on the cloth body, and it's really the only way you get any movability, and then you have to. So that's what neck rings are, and that's what they're for. Moving on to, put that back over there, zip ties. Now, I bought this pack of zip ties from Trueborns, okay? I got 50 of these, and I only paid like $15 or something like that for 50. It's a great deal. These are just the right size. They have small notches, okay, so that these fit very nice inside, tuck very nice inside the cloth body so you don't see them. They're more than long enough for the head, and you're going to trim off any extra anyway, so then you get them like you want for the arms and legs and trim off the extra. But I find these are perfect. They're the perfect, and see how tiny that is? That fits right inside the cloth body really well. That's not a bad price. Order these from Trueborns. I got 50 of them for like $15. It's not a bad deal at all. Last but not least, you can use normal polyfill, but I prefer to use this. It's luxury polyfill, and it's down alternative. It might be showing it to you backwards. I'm not sure. See, it says polyfill, but it says luxury down alternative, okay? And the reason I like to use it is it's very, look at this. See how soft and plush it is? It's got bits of memory foam in it, but it's very soft and plush. Normal polyfill tends to be stiffer, quite a bit stiffer. This is supposed to mimic a feather pillow. If you've ever had a feather pillow, then you know what they feel like and how amazing they are. And so that's what this is supposed to mimic without using actual feathers. It makes their bodies incredible. Now, you can order this stuff from Trueborns, McPherson's, maybe even Bountiful Baby, that's called Angel Soft. It's along the same lines, but it's a lot softer than this. I like the in-between. I like a little bit more firmness. I don't like it to be as squishy as that Angel Soft stuff, but I don't like it to be as stiff as a normal polyfill. So this is a in the middle, you know, works really well, that I found that I like a lot. So it's luxury down alternative fiber fill. It says polyfill up here, and it's down alternative. That's what it says, luxury down alternative. So you can find that at Joann's Fabrics if you're here in the United States, or you can go to any fabric store, wherever you're at, that sells fabrics and stuffings and stuff, and you should be able to find the same thing. So I hope that this information has helped. I really strongly encourage you to learn how to watch some YouTube videos, learn how to restuff and reweight your babies yourself, because you're going to get beautiful babies. You run the risk of this when you purchase pre-loved babies. Or even if you get them from the artist, everybody's different in the way they stuff and weight. And it doesn't mean they did it badly. It just means it's not what you prefer personally. So you want a baby to feel just as good to hold and enjoy holding it as much as you enjoy looking at it. So this way, you don't get a gorgeous baby that you absolutely love looking at, but you hate holding it because it's too light, it's too heavy, it's too floppy, it's too overstuffed. You know, its limbs don't move like you want. I just strongly recommend you learn how to do this yourself. It's not hard. Start doing your research. You can find some of these supplies on eBay. I get my, this is McPherson's, as you can see, McPherson's. I get my neck rings from McPherson's. I get my zip ties from Trueborn's. I get my beads from a local tool store that sells, or Tractor Supply that sells sandblasting material. I get my Polyfill from, you know, the local, you know, fabric store. You can even find it in, like, you know, Walmart or places like that in the sewing department, that, you know, where they have all their materials and sewing stuff, you know, pillow stuff to make pillows. That's where you'll find that. And then, of course, you can go to wherever they sell nylons and get the knee highs. Work best. Okay. It's easier than cutting full-on pantyhose. That, you know, when you cut off a leg on pantyhose, it can start to fray and fall apart. A knee high is the best thing to use. It's nice and solid and strong. And you can even get reinforced ones if you want. But that's what I use. It's very easy to find these things, and do it yourself. And it's a lot cheaper in the long run than mailing them off to someone and having them do it, or just being stuck with a doll that you don't enjoy holding. And why sell a doll and give up a doll that you really love when you can fix the part that you don't really love? You know what I mean? So I hope this information helped, and have a wonderful day. And I guess that's it. So